Welcome back to Dissect the Dialect. I'm your boy Tahuti Trismegistus, and we are continuing our talks. We are finishing our talks on the alphabet, and specifically the English alphabet, and how a spirit's subconscious desires is always going to be articulated in the creations that they consciously put out for us to consume and relate upon, like this language, for example. Last time we talked about the importance of reflecting upon your actions, having sex with yourself, creating your own tea, creating your own tree so you have true stability, and then taking responsibility for your actions. From here, you can finally give your best fruits, your best gifts. This is where we can get into our final sequence of the alphabet. U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now the alphabet sequence O, P, Q, R, S, and T shows us that a spirit attains the perfect organism, the perfect orgasm with their organism, the most orgasmic, organismic life, the best, the most pleasurable life by penetrating their own space with their own P. And that means creating your own thought that makes you feel fulfilled, so you want to go through it repetitively. And then this looks like on the outside, going outside of your home and going into realms and realities repetitively that allow you to express yourself and actually level up outside of your home. Because when you're in your own space, you're alone. The whole point of life is that we can create these forms that allow us to connect with them and then thus with each other. And now we can actually get something popping in the universe because we're all creating together and we can all correlate our spaces, whereas before we're just straight up alone. So if a spirit can gain stability, ST ability, create their own simulation, and truly love being alone, have their own tea, have their own tree, have their own sense of time, have their own space for making connections, they are thus able to create life and create fruits that you are able to bring. This is why you are the gift that God has given the world. You, yes, you. The letter U, you as well. You are the gift from the tree. U is the 21st letter of the English alphabet, and it is created by a spirit that realizes, reflects upon what its perfect orgasm would be, and creates the perfect thought that it can then repetitively penetrate into its space to create a T tree that stabilizes its sexy six. From here, the spirit reflects and connects upon its individual feeling to truly realize that it is creating life based on how it connects with itself. So this is where the T Taurus toward realizes that it's God by reflecting upon its tree and realizing that it is creating life, literally, based on how it connects with itself. From here, this water naturally turns into air as the God, the spirit making this tree, desires to share the fruits of its labor. So this is where the spirit creating the T Taurus toward realizes that it's God as it reflects upon its tree and sees that it is literally creating life based on how it connects with itself. From here, this water naturally turns into air as the spirit creating these connections desires to share them externally and express to the outside how pleasurably and productively it produces fruit from its own T, tree, 3 space. U is the basket God uses to deliver fruits from his own personal T-ree, just like you are the basket God uses to deliver fruits that he's grown from his personal tree. U turns into V when God's fruity, fun gifts become dense responsibilities. This is when we see the bend turn into that vice grip. And on two sides of this vice grip, we have virtuehood and victimhood. One side being in full control, the other side being in no control at all. This is two sides of our V that gets created from you eating the fruit in that basket. With V being the 22nd letter in the alphabet, we can see how producing these fruits becomes a box of responsibility, not just for the spirits consuming the fruits, but also the spirit creating them. Vibes get heavy. Vices get heavy. Virtues get heavy. Victimhood is the heaviest of all. Very, very, very heavy vibe. This is where we can see that one can become addicted to consuming the structures created by another god, thus trapping them in that god's vice grip and making them a victim of their circumstances. Once a spirit turns its you into a V, its God into a Lucifer, this represents how it's now trapped and lost in its own mind and its own vibe. V represents being lost, addicted to, or trapped in a vice grip in a certain vibration. It always takes looking at the vibration you're in from your own vibration to gain true clarity on a situation. This is why W has two V's. It's just two V's right there. It's about one vibe that you're trapped in, but the fact that you're trapped in it and you can observe being trapped in it means you have your own vibe. That is now a double U, and this is why it's also double U. U is one God. So everything you're observing means that you are eating something from God. That's the W. Where are you? Why are you? W shows you that you are also God. There is a double you here. There's the God on the outside, and there's a God that you are. There's a God producing the fruit that you're eating, and then there is you, the God creating life by consuming the fruit from this other God. When these two V's make a spirit start asking, where am I and what's happening, they start to get wet as they connect with the other spirits in their environment and try to work out where they are, what is going on. This W results in the spirits learning about who they're transforming with inside of the vibe that they're trapped in. For example, we're all consuming the same language. So now we're able to relate with each other based on how we've all consumed the same words and connected our spirits with them similarly enough to be able to communicate. W is wet, for it's a watery question that connects all spirits underneath the UV rays. Why are we eating the fruits from these gods? Where are we as we're eating the fruits from these gods? When are we going to stop eating the fruits from these gods? W, being 23, shows that we are all 5 milli underneath the double U, underneath the vibration and the desire to connect our fruits with one another. From W23's question, we then create the 24th letter, X. X looks like two V's put together in a box unfolded, like a cross. These two V's coming together to make the X show us that X marks a spot. Whether you're a rule breaker, and that means you're going to go to the spot and dig up some treasure, or you respect the boundary and you refuse to ever cross that X. X is the boundary, the sacrifice. Y is you as God being trapped in a vibe, sacrificing your individuality. It's because you desire to relate with other gods who have also had to sacrifice their individuality. This is what the X is all about. All of us sacrificing our godlyhood so we can step down into forms that allow us to be more relatable with each other, and now we can all get trapped in a vibe, in going from being a victim to being a virtue, and back and forth. This is our motions and how we are all creating life out of creating water. Hence why X is 24. 2 plus 4, 6. Boom, we're here. Spirit creates a letter Y after U realizes that sacrificing an X is Y, it's trapped in a V vibe. Y is ya, ye, ya, yes. Y, yes, is the answer to the question why you sacrifice your individuality, because you desire to connect to a structure and create life with other individuals. Being the 25th letter of the alphabet, Y is 7, an individual thought that results from a spirit connecting its water, its feeling, with death. It's answering the question why it's sacrificing its individuality. So the 7 shows that it's separate from all other spirits in its why. It's inside of the simulation it's inside of currently. And finally, this W question to Y25 brings us to Z26, being rocked to sleep forever. Yes, sir. Z is all about sleep. Sleepy, zeepy. Once you hit that Z, you are asleep. This is why Y leads into Z. The moment you have your question as to why you're in the vibe, what's there to do but sleep? Once you answer why, you agree to follow the collective rules and sacrifice your X boundary on the cross in order to relate with other gods outside of yourself, inside of forms that you can build familiarity with. This is where it's time to go to sleep and forget about how individual you truly are. Wow. Z shows us that life is but a dream. A dream constructed by spirits who are so woke in their imaginations when they're alone that they desire to go to sleep and they desire to connect with spirits outside of themselves. So we cool down our fiery individuality, we sacrifice it on the cross so we can then create water from our flames and vibe with other individuals inside of this simulated video game we call life. Z shows us that we are all connected by our desire to sleep together, which doesn't have to have sexy and creative connotations. Life games are primarily about fun. It's all about fun. Sleeping over at a friend's house, for example, is supposed to be fun. Not painful, not unenjoyable, not scary. It's a fun experience to be able to go from your space to someone else's space and connect on deeply dark topics. This is what all gods want to do. This is why we tell stories. It's just the fact is we must sacrifice our individuality before we can even create the circumstances to connect our individuality to other individuals. This is why all of life is separated by fire and connected by water. Have you seen animals, or specifically humans, that don't sleep? I mean, there may be a few, but I sure haven't. It's generally the sacrifice that comes with creating a body inside of a reality. Besides, being in a body like this is being asleep. This is why a big part of the sacrifice is animals leaving their bodies vulnerable so that they can sleep and go back to their spirit space, be closer to God, and actually see their dreams. Animal dreams, our dreams, are us when we're truly awake. That's us in our God form before we decided to step down and connect our infinite individuality into something more finite, aka the astral plane. Thus is a cycle and nuance of playing in life simulations. Being awake feels like the spirit's mind and looks like the body, whereas being asleep feels like the body, yet looks like the spirit's mind. One shan't exist without the other. This is a manifestation of some of my laws. polarity or rhythm, correspondence to. Now you can see how the entities who have created this English language use it to make spirits sacrifice their individuality and be rocked to sleep forever. This language uses 26 letters to really drive in how it desires to connect with how you have sex, aka colonize how you have sex with yourself, and thus control your your soul, and make you not have sex with yourself, don't water yourself, but water us. Pay attention to us. Go into the light so we can make money off of your space. 2 plus 6 is 8, showing that they are rocking the soul to sleep for infinity and beyond. So here's English invading with its witchcraft alphabet to zip up your free, nude, indigenous bodies so you are closed in clothes. And from zipping you closed in clothes, they then put you in an enclosure, so now all you can see is losers. Only once you break loose of the C closures will you stop seeing losers, because you will have stopped sacrificing your individuality to relate with other people who also don't want to relate with themselves, and instead you will have finally connected with your true God, your true infinite self, the spirit, the space that made the body that your mind was lost in up until you broke out of the matrix. So if you would like to learn even more about how you can break free from all the limitations that this witchcraft English language has bound upon your body, mind, and soul, then click the link in my bio, tap into chaseyourgenes.com, and join us at Always Ascending Academy to level up for infinity and beyond. See you later. Stay breezy. Peace. Yeah.